effective. The instructions say put it in water, but I like almond milk. I don't eat enough nuts as it is, so. Okay, now I've got my little milk frother.
The first thing that I wanted to talk about was George Santos, which the House voted to expel just yesterday, or Thursday.
No, yesterday.
Yesterday, and in any case, they voted to expel him. Who he is not even under indictment. He is under investigation. He's done some things with his. Oh, he bought Botox with his campaign money. I look around at Congress and think, yeah, so did you and you. Anybody who can't wrinkle their forehead.
Biden probably makes a Botox milkshake every morning for his breakfast.
Yeah. So, there's that. And I think there were some other things that he did. There was sexual allegations made against him, but he was exonerated. And I need to say that because they're still talking about that on the House floor. He was exonerated by the Ethics Committee of any wrongdoing and any sexual anything. So
right.
I want.
So what's this all about? It's by reducing the Republican majority in the House by 1. That's all that this is about. Now let's see who they go after next.
Exactly, and I'll tell you who they're planning on going after next. Who, if Kevin McCarthy has his way, it would be Matt Gaetz.
Right.
They want to. So now that they've set this precedent, because this has never happened before, it hasn't happened at least since the Civil War, when Confederate soldiers were expelled, I guess. But in any case, they have set a precedent in modern times of expelling a member of the House. Now, we have Bob Menendez, who has been indicted twice. The first time he got off because it was a hung jury and the judge declared a mistrial. This time they say they have way more evidence and it's a lot worse. He's received money apparently from Turkey. And he has had some votes where he...
Both cash and gold bars.
Gold bars from Turkey. And so, there's that. And then there are other members of, what is it, Eric Swalwell, who had an affair with the Chinese Fang Fang?
A spy.
A spy. Even Fetterman, Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania, who, had that stroke and all that stuff. He was on The View the other day, and he literally said, why did they expel this guy when we have, and he was talking about Bob Menendez, somebody who has actually been indicted and did way worse stuff. George Santos has not been indicted. He is under investigation. So there's that. 105 Republicans voted to expel him. And, there's a list of names. If anybody's interested, look and see if your member of Congress is on that name. The people who are speaking out for him are people who, like Andy Biggs and Matt Gaetz and other people who I personally respect and admire, are saying, this is ridiculous. First of all, be very careful, House members, pointing a finger at anybody for anything. Because none of you are innocent. None of you, I don't believe, are innocent of all wrongdoing. And so I would be very careful because they'll come after you next. Or your constituents might get mad. Now, I don't know if George Santos' constituents feel about it, but they are the ones who need to make the decision as to whether he serves. And he also, too, Bill, he has said that he's not going to run for re-election. So he's going to be out in a year, a little over.
Yeah, a little under.
A little under a year anyway. So this is like, what is the point? Well, Senator Santorum said he was an anchor for the Republicans. Really, Senator? An anchor? He's the anchor? Are you kidding me? With all the rhinos in the House and you're calling him an anchor? So that is, the situation with that. And going forward, we'll see. Are they going to vote for Matt Gaetz to be expelled? Because he held Kevin McCarthy's feet to the fire on what Kevin McCarthy said he would do and on what Kevin McCarthy agreed that one person could do make the motion. Kevin agreed to that. And Kevin got advice from Nancy Pelosi. That's his problem. So I don't know where.
Right. Lance said she had his back.
That's right. She said exactly, and he trusted her. He trusted her.
She's
Really?
like a circus knife thrower,
Right.
having your back.
Yeah. Turn around. I'm going to throw this knife. In any case.
Not like a cartoon. Series of knives go down their spine.
Yeah. So there's that. The other situation that popped up this morning, I don't know if you were even aware of this, but Matt Gaetz is the one who pointed this out. Several other members of Congress have pointed this out, that on their official computers, the House members all have government laptops or whatever, they cannot access the Gateway Pundit. They get an error message when they try to go to look on an article at the Gateway Pundit that says, this is this is a bad site. You're not allowed to go here. And this is not done. It's the House Republicans' computers. It's not anything that they control. It's controlled by the Capitol Police. So it's the Biden administration doing this. And here's the kicker. The lawsuit that Louisiana and Missouri attorney generals are bringing about. Well, Gateway Pundit has joined them as a plaintiff in this lawsuit.
Can we?
I don't know. I don't know.
We should actually ask.
Yeah, but in any case, well, it's already. I think I don't know how that works, but in any case,
Never
that's
too late.
Right, but that's why they think that they have banned the House members from Gateway Pundit. As Matt Gaetz says, the Gateway Pundit is a mix of opinion articles and factual articles and all kinds of information and analysis on situations. But one of the things the Gateway Pundit has been very outspoken about is the 2020 elections. And they have published a lot of information on that and a lot of information that they found themselves. And they were also involved in that 2,000 Mules movie, Joe Hoft was. And so the House Republicans can't access a website that they sometimes access, etc. So I just found that to be a little bit crazy. Also,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. What do you think? I mean, that's insane.
This is the repression state, and gradually all of America is coming to understand that. And that's a good thing, because literally our freedom is at risk in this coming year.
Yeah. Jussie Smollett is finally going to go back to jail to serve out I believe he received 150 days, and he served 6. So his lawyers have appealed, and so now he's lost his appeals, and he will be serving time.
Yeah, he was the guy that claimed that Trump supporters beat him up at 3:00 in the morning when it was like 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside of Chicago. They were just hanging around out on the street, waiting to see somebody with a MAGA hat so they could beat him up and rob him.
Right.
That's typical. Trump always tells us, and in his secret communiques to us, to be sure to go out on the coldest night of the year and try to rob some poor sucker walking around.
Well, the mayor of Chicago is blaming MAGA Republicans for all the problems that they're having in Chicago. And I said, I don't think there are any MAGA Republicans in Chicago. The only ones that were ever in Chicago were the ones who attacked Jussie Smollett.
Oh.
And those
and even if there were any there, they wouldn't admit it. So
yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah. So there's that. And so we just seems like there's so much going on, and all of a sudden I had this other story. They are still arresting people who were involved in January 6th. They're still coming after them. They just arrested somebody from Hollywood, believe it or not, just the other day on charges of whatever. And as you have probably already seen, because we put it up, we just today interviewed one of the J6 prisoners, one of the people who was been found who pled guilty. His name is Derek Evans, and
Way to go.
he is the one. He also confirmed for us that a lot of the J6 prisoners were given an opportunity to get a really low plea, a plea to something minor, if they swore that the 2020 elections were above board and they were wrong, and they denounced President Trump, and they said that President Trump put them up to it. So he did confirm that. He was actually in Michigan, so he wasn't in the D.C. gulag. So
President Trump must be a real busy boy to reach down and speak with all of these J6 people to try to convince them to change their plea.
well, and you know what else is going on? The House Republicans are trying to investigate the J6 committee, Liz Cheney's and others, a committee to see, because they did wrong. They did things incorrectly, and they didn't. Well, oddly enough, all of the testimony and all of the videotapes of the testimonies have been somehow deleted. And they did receive files from some of the files from testimonies or whatever, completely redacted, totally. I mean, there was nothing. It was all black.
Yes, but the beauty of it is that this is the federal government, and if it goes through a federal government computer, it is never lost. It goes into Iron Mountain, and it is forever. So they can say whatever they want, but unless they're somehow able to break that, they have to go out and seek those copies, and they have to have a good reason to get those copies.
Well, and the issue is when they do get anything, it's redacted, because what the J6 committee did for some odd reason, which they're not supposed to do, they turned all their information over to the feds instead of all of that stuff is supposed to be kept in the House of Representatives in their files. It's not supposed to have been turned over.
Well, Iron Mountain comes weekly. Whether or not they could get those films and start editing things out before Iron Mountain gets a copy is a question. It could go either way, but.
Anyway, the point is they are having difficulty in looking into this, and it's just
no. But whoever was I don't know whether it was Comer or whoever last night made that comment. He said, "Yeah, well, we're looking to see if we can find it's." I think that he said those copies are somewhere, and we're looking for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that somewhere is Iron Mountain.
Yeah, but it's a matter of time and effort and all of this stuff that they're going to have to spend looking for something they should not have to look for.
Yeah, something that I'm going to hit today with an individual video is the con situation has come up again. What's that guy, the rhino from Pennsylvania, former?
Rick Santorum.
Yeah, Rick Santorum is now on the con trail and explained to...
Greg Kelly
explained to Greg Kelly last night all the wonderful benefits of having a new constitutional convention so that we can right some of the ills in the old Constitution. Well, first of all, there are not many bad parts in the old Constitution. In fact, there's only one as far as I know, and that's the ability of the federal government to borrow money. Of course, this was put in by Alexander Hamilton. That's why Alexander Hamilton's image is on the $20 bill, because he got that going. Of course, it's a $20 bill is in Federal Reserve notes. What we should be having is throw the Federal Reserve note out, put in United States notes, which are debt-free. They don't have debt attached to them. The only way to control the quantity of money then is where it should be controlled, and that's by Congress. They're the people who should decide on the quantity of money issue. No matter how much they tried to inflate the currency through the ill use of U.S. notes, that would not exceed the inflation that's being caused right now by Joe Biden's wanton abuse of spending. There is no good argument for the con, and it puts the Constitution at danger. They started talking about this in 1945 or 1948, doing this, changing the Constitution, and they want to, if not, they won't completely take out all the amendments to the Constitution, but they'll water them all down. And because why? What's his name's argument would be, well, the representatives that go to the con are just people from the states. So this is the states movement, because just like with the original Constitution, once those doors were shut, all hell broke loose, and they were supposed to merely modify the Articles of Confederation, but no, they didn't. They made an entirely new document. Fortunately, we had people back 240 years ago who were well-intentioned for the benefits of we the people, and not well-intentioned for the benefits of the coup, of the abusers of power. Don't open that door. Don't open the Constitution to wholesale modification. I know what's his name says, oh, like everybody else, oh, the convention will be held to a single issue. Well, unfortunately, there's been no less than 5 or 6 single issues where people have tried to push the con forward. It cannot be held to a single issue. It cannot. It will not. It's the most dangerous thing you can do to freedom-loving Americans. I've written and put 3 different videos up, and I found them from our
archives.
Archives, such as they are.
Well, I know.
But it's working. We saved them off, and we can get to that stuff. It's just not that easy.
Yes. And speaking of freedom-loving Americans, the gag order has been reinstated on President Trump. And he also he was seeking immunity from people who want to bring a lawsuit against him for January 6th. Anybody.
Like anybody in the country.
I guess.
For this terrible upset
of January 6th.
People walking into the Capitol just because police officers told them to come on in.
In talking to Derek Evans, I very much respected him.
Yeah.
And I respected his position. And I think he's right in saying that somebody who has had the experience that he has had, wrongfully accused of whatever, but he served his time, and he learned a lot in the process, and he's standing up. He's standing for freedom.
Fearlessly.
He's the kind of person we need in Congress. And one of the things that gives me a chill a little bit is if they expelled George Santos, well, what makes you think they won't expel somebody who was found or pled guilty to something about January 6th?
And the reason is not necessarily that they're going to be able to take them all out. It's to cause fear in the members. You're next on the list. If you don't toe the line, we'll throw these massive amounts of stuff at you, bankrupt you, everything. And do you really want to do that, or do you want to continue with your nice position of power?
Yeah.
So most of those people are gonna crumble under that pressure.
So the people of West Virginia have a choice to make. They want to stick with Carol Miller, who is their the incumbent, and I don't really know a whole lot about her record. Or do they want to change course and go with a fighter who stands up for freedom, who has already paid the price for standing up for freedom? And I'm going to say to the West Virginia people, the primary is May 14th, and a lot of times people stay home on primary day. Do not stay home. Get out and vote on May 14th.
This is the election, May 14th, because the winner of that primary, the district is so red, it is a shoo-in. To go to Congress. So the actual election is May 14th. And that's what you've got to get out there for.
And it's your choice. But if it were me, I would vote for a fighter. Was that it?
If that's everything on your list, you're a mental list for today. We weren't planning on con, but I just couldn't resist.
I know, but I love your passion about it. Yes, I think that's it.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.